Every sport has its top players, whether it's tennis, basketball, wrestling, or UFC. And these top players have no doubt earned their place through hard work, impressive feats, and a lot of other things. UFC is known for its genuine and brutal fighting, and earning a place among the top here is quite impressive. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the top 20 most popular fighters in the UFC, so stay tuned. At number 20, we have Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley, also known as the Chosen One, sits at the 20th spot on this list. Of course, he would be higher if there weren't so many other incredible fighters. The fighter has an Instagram following of 2.1 million and is widely known for the number of victories he gained over other big names during his era. He used to be the welterweight champion, but later moved on from MMA to have a few boxing matchups against Jake Paul. At number 19, we have Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis isn't that much of a social media fan, yet his following is just increasing day by day. Right now, he has 2.2 million followers and pocketed $4.9 million. This is probably because of the rush of adrenaline he brings to each of his fights. You may not know when he's going to finish it, probably somewhere in between a few rounds to a few minutes, but it's definitely going to be an incredible knockout. At number 18, we have Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone, or Cowboy as some like to call him, has quite the reputation in the UFC, which has led him to having a following of 2.3 million. Donald has fought more than 50 fights. Why? Because he'll fight everyone, even if he knows he could easily defeat his opponent or has little chance of doing so, at least logically. Fighting famous names is also the main reason he is so famous. He's earned about 7.5 million in his career. At number 17, we have Tony Ferguson. Tony has quite an impressive following of 2.4 million followers on Instagram. He's pocketed over 4.2 million. He's known for his unique set of skills. And of course, he deserves both his pay and following. He entertained the crowd for years. Even when he started to drag a little in later years, fans just never tired of him. This was probably because he never backs down and always puts up a show. Now, at number 16, we have Cody Garbrandt. Cody No Love Garbrandt, as they call him, is widely known for his 6 straight wins in UFC when he started his career, 11 other championships included. This obviously earned the man a lot of attention from fans, and soon enough, he was one of the most famous UFC fighters. Currently, he has a following of 2.5 million on Instagram and has earned about $1.9 million. He isn't quite the fighter he was, but he still has time to make his way back up. At number 15, we have Zabit Magomedsharipov. It may be a bit of a surprise to see Zabit on this list, seeing as he's struggled a lot due to health issues and is currently coaching his brother instead of fighting. Still, in his prime, Zabit was undefeated as well, at least after his first 6 fights. And his career's earned him about $500,000 and about 2.6 million Instagram followers, which is a good amount considering the setbacks he faced. At number 14, we have Jose Aldo. Jose is well respected in the UFC, especially considering he's gone up against 3 separate generations of fighters. Ever since his arrival in 2011, he's charmed the UFC crowd with his talent and way of fighting, usually by exchanging fast blows. Let's just say he's attracted a lot of attention over the years. Jose Aldo's fights are extremely entertaining, which has earned him an Instagram following of 2.7 million on Instagram and a total of 9.9 million over his career. At number 13, we have Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman, also widely known as the Nigerian Nightmare, has taken the welterweight division by storm in recent years. Not only has he defended his championship title multiple times, but his part wrestling, part heavy-hitting style of fighting has also earned him a lot of attention among UFC fans. Kamaru is definitely not someone to mess with. He has a following of 2.9 million and has pocketed about $8.4 million during his career. Definitely not an earning to laugh at. At number 12, we have Max Holloway. Max Holloway also has a following of 2.9 million. Unfortunately for him, he has pocketed less, but still, 6.3 million isn't exactly a poor amount. Max is the best boxer in the UFC, or at least that's what he says. Well, even if he isn't, he's definitely one of the best out there. He hasn't been outperformed many times in his career, and when he steps into the stage, everybody knows he's there to win. Now, at number 11, we have Jorge Masvidal. We'll be entering the top 10 in the next one. While Jorge Masvidal didn't make the cut, 11th place is still impressive. He has a following of 3 million on Instagram and has earned a total of 5 million throughout his career. Some say his fame is mostly because of his mouth, which is understandable because he hasn't had the most impressive record. Still, his trash talking has earned him fights against a lot of big names, such as Nate Diaz and twice against Kamaru Usman. Now, we're entering the top 10. First in the top 10 is Daniel Cormier. Nowadays, Daniel Cormier is more famous famous as a commentator for the UFC, but fans who've been watching him for a long time are aware of his first-class wrestling skills and a solid record in the heavyweight division. His worldwide renown has gotten him more than 3.1 million followers on Instagram. During his entire career, Daniel was victorious in 22 fights and lost only 3. Thanks to his splendid career, he's earned over $12.5 million in total. Then at number 9, we have Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev is often called the second KHABIB Nurmagomedov because his fighting has a clear resemblance to KHABIB's Sambo wrestling style. Not to mention, he successfully defeated almost all of his opponents. Thanks to his impressive career, he's earned over 3.7 million followers on Instagram. Currently, Islam has earned over $500,000 from fighting. This is a small amount compared to other fighters on this list, but it will inevitably increase if he keeps up this success. Next, at number 8, we have Francis Ngannou. In 2021, Francis Ngannou became the UFC heavyweight champion. He's one of the most famous MMA fighters, having gained more than 3.8 million followers on Instagram. His fight winnings over the course of his career add up to over 4.1 million. However, he probably earns much more from sponsorships and brand partnerships. At number 7, we have Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier earned his nickname, the Diamond, by being a fighter who thrives the longer the fight goes on and the more pressure he's put under. Thanks to his nature, he has over 3.9 million followers on Instagram. Dustin has earned over $11.2 million during his career. A lot of that pay came from competing for championship belts and facing off with Conor McGregor. For number 6, we have Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva is, without a doubt, one of the best fighters in the history of the UFC. He's respected by many across mixed martial arts as a pioneer, and we've witnessed him in some incredible fights. He has more than 4 million followers on Instagram. Recently, the 47-year-old has been enjoying success in boxing. Now, at number 5, we have Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz has been a fan favorite for a long time, having had boxing matches with some of the best UFC fighters of all time. In 2016, he also had an emphatic win against Conor McGregor. He has a fan base of over 5.4 million on Instagram. Over the course of his fighting career, he's earned more than $9.9 million. Next up, at number 4, we have Jon Jones. Throughout his career, Jon Jones has had trouble staying out of negative news, whether it be breaking the rules of dosing for UFC fights or news stories about his personal life. Somehow, his infamy has earned him over 5.8 million followers on Instagram. Jones was the youngest ever fighter to be a UFC champion and has gotten over $14.3 million in earnings during his career. Finally, the top 3. In third place, we have Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya has extremely high kickboxing skills and has over 6.1 million Instagram followers. Adesanya has earned more than 7.4 million throughout his fighting career, but he's probably earned much more through sponsorships. At second place, we have KHABIB Nurmagomedov. KHABIB is one of the most renowned UFC fighters in the world, with an undefeated fighting record. He has an audience of over 33 million followers on Instagram. Thanks to his incredible fighting career, he's earned more than $21.7 million. Finally, coming out on top is Conor McGregor. McGregor was the highest paid athlete in 2021. He's easily one of the most well-known names in all sports and has over 44.3 million followers on Instagram. During his fighting career, McGregor earned over $108 million thanks to his huge brand and appeal. That's a wrap for this video. Do you agree with this ranking? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.